in order to cooperate with the new generation fighter plan. Based on the performance of Tianjian 2C, the Chinese Academy of Sciences develop a new generation of Tianjian missiles. That is, the Tianjian 5 air-to-air missile. Performance benchmarked against American-made AIM-120C. Range up to 160 kilometers. Here comes the problem. The Tianjian series currently in service in Taiwan. I just walked to Skyward Sword 2. Why go directly to Tianjian 5 now? What about its performance? The first question. Why Skyward Sword 5? The Tianjian series currently in service in Taiwan. In other words, Skyward Sword 1 and Skyward Sword 2. Skyward Sword 2C in the Benjian project. As well as Land-Fired Sword 2 and Sea-Fired Sea Sword 2. But according to senior officials, Land Shooting Sword 2 and Sea Shooting Sword 2. Classified as Jian 3 within the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Future generation of medium-range air-to-air missiles. I will also avoid the unlucky name of Jianxi. So it will directly enter the Sword 5 era. The 5 era of swords. But if we want to talk about this channel, Skyward Sword 3 actually already exists. Naturally, the new generation of missiles can no longer bear this name. I don't know if you still remember. The Chinese Academy of Sciences previously released Skyward Sword 3. It is not announced at press conferences or exhibitions, but on the cover of an inconspicuous publishing journal. Skyward Sword 3 is an improved version of Skyward Sword 1. It is a short-range air-to-air, close-range dogfighting missile. Estimated range, 15 kilometers, speed Mach 4. Similar in appearance to the European Meteor missile. With air inlets and vector nozzles. Missiles can make sharp turns in the air. That is, off-axis attack. Similar performance to AIM-9X. For modern air combat, off-axis attacks are a trend. Of course, it's not enough to attack missiles from enemy aircraft on the side. Must be equipped with a helmet aiming system. Only in close combat. Maximize the combat effectiveness of Tianjian 3. The Chinese Academy of Sciences will continue to work hard. Tianjian 5 just needs it. So judging by the name. New generation missile named Tianjian 5. It still makes sense. So how does it perform? The current active range of Tianjian 2 is 60 kilometers. The improved Tianjian 2C has a range of 100 kilometers. Tianjian 5 has a range of up to 160 kilometers. Focus on a layer-by-layer progression. What is interesting? Tianjian 5 is prepared for a new generation of fighters. But if the AIM-120C can be used by new fighters, there is a high probability that the Chinese Academy of Sciences will not develop Tianjian 5 so early. Former U.S. State Department approved arms exports totaling $619 million. Contains 200 AIM-120C8 and 100 AGM-88. Among them, the range of AIM-120C can reach 160 kilometers. Performance is pretty good. The problem is that this missile can only be used by F-16s. IDF cannot be used. There is no other way. The Chinese Academy of Sciences can only develop new missiles. Target range of Tianjian Type 5. It is to reach the level of AIM-120C. Also requires joint helmet aiming system. Give it a stronger electronic interference function. Pilots can lock onto targets faster. Paired with a new generation of fighter aircraft. Performance beats F-16 and AIM-120C. According to Taiwan's operational needs for a new generation of fighter aircraft. At least have a built-in bomb bay. Stealth shape to reduce radar reflection. AESA phase array radar. As well as data links for sharing information between fighters beforehand, etc. Engines with vector nozzles are not excluded. This is what the 5th generation machine ADF means both inside and outside. In order to achieve the above performance, the Chinese Academy of Sciences has carried out various key research and development plans for a new generation of fighter jets, including research and development of Tianjian 5. There is a problem. Skyward Sword 3 hasn't officially debuted yet. Would it be too forward to directly develop Tianjian 5? Or can the performance of Tianjian 5 be achieved? I can't say for sure on this issue either. But what is certain is that Skyward Sword 5 is very difficult. This can be seen from Tianjian 2C. According to the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Tianjian 2C has a range of 100 kilometers and a speed of Mach 6. Can reach speeds of Mach 6. Solid fuel power must be one of the key points of upgrading. But the power section is pretty good. But there is a little problem with the boot head. It is generally believed that Tianjian 2's active target-seeking radar technology, provided by Motorola Corporation, that is the company that failed to bid for the AIM-120 project. Then the Chinese Academy of Sciences will provide the missile body and engine. Performance is slightly reduced compared to the American original. There are also issues of guidance and speed. Tianjian 2C is said to have mid-course inertial guidance, terminal active radar guidance. If Mach 6 is real, then it must be that only the middle section can reach Mach 6. Then slow down. Otherwise, there will be black obstacles and radar guidance will be impossible. In the atmosphere at Mach 6, there is currently no effective guidance method. High heat caused by high-speed friction can basically affect all forms of signal reception. Terminal guidance speed of large anti-ship missiles, just around Mach 3. Mach 6 is really a rocket. There is also IDF's AN, the APG-67. Originally, the range of Tianjian 2 was close to the radar scanning range. In addition to the previous slight upgrade, the engagement distance has been slightly increased. In addition to increasing the number of engagement targets. No other news. The 100 kilometers range of Tianjian 2C. It's hard to say whether it can be used or not. This is the same for Tianjian 5. Unknown power, unknown radar. No one can predict the final performance. And Tianjian 5 also needs to be linked with the helmet. More difficult. But if we talk about missile performance alone, if you don't consider other things, the result is most likely fine. After all, Taiwan has been researching missiles for so many years. Technology and experience are pretty good. The biggest problem is the fighter planes. It has been nearly 30 years since the brave Eagle higher education aircraft, the greatest achievement of Taiwan's self-made military aircraft. As for 5th generation machines, it's difficult. To be honest, Taiwan still does not have stealth design, advanced active phased array radar, etc. Technical basis of 5th generation fighter aircraft, limited by insufficient basic conditions. R&D funding is likely to be quite high. And the results are limited. If the United States had not provided technical support back then, progress in the IDF has been much slower. Taiwan now wants to develop 5th generation aircraft. Will be slower. When will the ADF prototype be available? It's all unknown. Screen of Tianjian 5 and ADF linkage. I really can't imagine it. Of course, Tianjian 5 does not have to be used for ADF. After it is developed, it can also be used in existing IDF. It's just that this channel thinks Taiwan's current Tianjian series of missiles are sufficient. Heavenly Sword series. The Skyward Sword plan for Skyward Sword 1 and Skyward Sword 2. In fact, it is a sub-project under the IDF fighter plan. It is an IDF-specific air combat weapon. Among them, Tianjian 1 imitates the American Sidewinder. Appearance and performance are very similar. Skyward Sword 2 imitates the Sparrow missile. So in the early days, many media believe that Tianjian 2 is the same as Sparrow. Uses semi-active radar guidance system. I found out later. Tianjian 2 uses active radar. The biggest difference between semi-active radar and active radar. Radar communications, based on semi-active radar guidance. Responsible for the missile-launching fighter plane. The active radar is responsible for the missile itself. This means that the missile itself has the ability to independently search for targets. Although it sounds simple, but not many can play it. From the perspective of RD process, many technologies in Skyward Sword 2 are supported by the United States. What is interesting? Taiwan's idea is universal. In addition to air-launched missiles used with fighter aircraft, the Chinese Academy of Sciences also launched the Sea Shooting Sword 2 and the Land Shooting Type Sword 2. Air-launched Skyward Sword 2. Propulsion using single-stage solid-state rockets. Effective range 60 km, maximum speed Mach 4. The guidance method is mid-course inertial navigation. Plus data link command update. Terminal active radar guidance. Equipped with a 22 kg high-explosive fragmentation warhead. The sea launch type is launched from zero altitude. Speed and range are both reduced. The range is about 30 km, and the speed is only Mach 2.4. The land-launched version is 15 km. Among them, Sea Sword 2 is very popular with the Navy. Air-launched Tianjian 2 will be mass-produced soon. The Chinese Academy of Sciences has begun the research and development of sea-launched and land-launched models. Taiwanese warships have always lacked effective air defense. So very interested in this. Especially after buying the Kangding level. This thing can basically only be used during the day. The manual operation of the hazelnut tree is really uncomfortable. But Tianjian 2 wants to achieve the ideal performance of hanging hair. A little bit difficult. The first thing to solve is after liftoff. Quick turn to the problem. The second is rapid filling at sea. The wings are folded, and the parts need to be corrosion resistant. Launchers and missiles must also be compatible with the ship's combat system. It took more than 20 years of research and development by the Chinese Academy of Sciences to produce concrete results. The Yushan ship and Tianjian class are equipped with Tianjian 2. Compared to Skyward Sword 2, the appearance of Tianjian has not changed much. Just added a booster rocket. Flexible wing replacement foldable. There are also 4 movable gas rudders at the rear end of the missile body, used to assist missile steering. It is worth mentioning that at present, in addition to the Tianjian class and Yushan class ships, equipped with a tilted launch box, later Kangding class and light frigates, French guidance will be adopted. Huiyang hair drying system developed by the Chinese Academy of Sciences can greatly improve the air defense capabilities of warships. But compared to warships' enthusiasm for Sea Sword 2, ground troops' attitude towards land-launched Sword 2, but it's tepid. For anti-aircraft missiles, Just looking at missile performance is not enough. We also need a complete missile launch system. The Chinese Academy of Sciences has developed a new low-altitude short-range air defense system. Includes field air defense phased radar, Tianjian 2 and homemade 40 quick cannon. It's just that at that time, Taiwan thought Tianjian 1 just cooperate with the Avengers system. Plus after purchasing Apache and Black Hawk, there's not much money left. I didn't purchase Land Shooting Sword 2. Until the Eagle missile was retired, the combat configuration changed. In order to make up for the gap in the airspace between the short and mid-level, Taiwan will still decide to purchase in 2020. But in the end, I just bought Tianjian 2 and the radar system. Not comprehensive, but enough. At present, Tianjian 2 and the launch vehicle have been put into mass production. Can replace the old Tsushu missile vehicle. Become a new generation of field air defense weapon for ground troops. Besides, the Chinese Academy of Sciences also has a Tianjian 2 anti-radiation missile. It is said that it is also carried by IDF. Taiwan stated in early 2014 that the Tianjian 2A anti-radiation missile specially designed for radar was successfully tested. Its combat positioning is similar to AGM-88. Although the range and lethality are not as good as the AGM-88, but has a higher penetration speed, smaller size and weight. It is also more flexible to deploy. It's just that there is very little news about this missile. Some experts even believe that there is no mass production. It's just that the Chinese Academy of Sciences wants to use this to persuade the United States. AGM-88 of the same class of weapons for sale. All in all, the performance of the Tianjian series is already very good. Especially Tianjian 2C. Due to the advancement of electronic technology and miniaturization, coupled with the improvement in the efficiency of missile fuel and explosives, the effective range has been increased from the original 60 kilometers, increased to more than 100 kilometers. And it has the ability to launch from a rail. 2 can be hung on both sides of the IDF wing. Give it a choice of too long and too short. It has now entered the mass production stage. As for Tianjian 5 and ADF, I can only talk about the outlook. What is the specific performance? I can only read the news later. However, some people think Taiwan just needs to defend. It is enough to develop drones. Manned fighter planes are useless. Something is really going on. The airport was the first to be bombed. No fixed hangar is spared. Even if you take off, it won't help. Fighters have almost no room to survive. Therefore, these missiles should not be mounted on fighter aircraft. Vehicle-mounted and ship-mounted will do. And the fighter jets cost money. These funds can support many missiles. Ship or vehicle. How to say? Again. With or without use. Those are two situations. Okay, this video ends here. Do you think Tianjian 5 can be successfully developed? You can leave a message below the video. This is the Wealth Accumulation channel. See you in the next issue.